Gentleman from Ohio is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 94 days ago, the President of the United States sent to the Congress an emergency supplemental spending request to fund our activities in Afghanistan and Iraq. He asked for, in round numbers, $100 billion, which has now turned into some $20 to $23 billion more than that. But we've been through that fight. The President vetoed the bill, made it clear what he would sign and what he wouldn't sign. I was at the White House last week after the bill had been vetoed by the President, and there was an agreement in the room, bipartisan, bicameral agreement in the room, that we would sit down together and try to resolve the differences that we have over funding our effort to take on al-Qaeda and other terrorists in Iraq and in Afghanistan. What we've seen over the last 10 days or so have been token meetings. There's been no honest attempt to work together, as we all committed to. There's been no meetings where we could actually sit down and discuss our differences and try to bring some resolution to those differences. And so when I heard earlier this week about this plan that was going to be brought to the floor today, I thought to myself, why? Why do we have to play more political games? The President of the United States has made it clear that he will veto this bill. The Senate leaders, Democrat and Republican, have made it clear that this plan has no chance in the other chamber. But yet, here we are, playing political games while our troops are fighting for our freedom and our safety in Iraq. Now, I'm not going to go through all the reasons why Iraq is important. I've been through them before. And I think every member of this chamber understands that Iraq is important to the safety and security of the United States. But I want to remind all of my colleagues that all of our members in this chamber, except one, all of our members in this chamber, Democrat and Republican, except one, voted to send our troops to Iraq. There they've been locked in a battle for the safety and security of Americans, helping to try to build a democracy to bring more stability to the Middle East. And here we are tonight, divided, once again, about whether we should support our troops that are out there fighting for our safety. Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, our soldiers are doing their duty in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world, a duty that we have sent them on. And yet we sit here playing political games. That's not what the American people sent us here to do. They asked us to come here, Democrats and Republicans, to work through our differences and to make sure that we are helping our troops. And I think every member here understands that we have to support our troops. And I think every member here knows that at the end of the day, we're going to pass a clean supplemental that doesn't have all this excess spending riding on the backs of our soldiers, that will in fact fund the activities in Iraq. But the question I ask tonight is, how long are the games going to go on? How long? 94 days we've been at this. 94 days since the President asked for this money, and we're still playing games. That's not what the American people expect of us. They understand that Iraq's important. They understand that their safety and security is dependent upon what happens there. Because the consequences of failure in Iraq, which this bill will bring about, are too ominous to think about. This bill is designed to bring failure in Iraq. Failure in Iraq means chaos in Iraq. It means genocide in Iraq, and it means we're jeopardizing the safety and security of the American people. It's not what the American people want. We should reject this bill.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Wisconsin.